more rural Mississippi highway footage for you. It's about a little after 10 a.m. That worked out pretty good. You know, I was there for about 2.5 hours. That's pretty normal getting a load on average. And I need to mention too, I got notification from Maverick that I got a new student referral from someone named Corey. So Corey, could you, if you hear this, could you please send me either a message through YouTube or an email so I'll know who you are? I mean, we may have been emailing back and forth under a different, or messaging under a different name, so I'm not aware of who you are. If you could just confirm, I'd appreciate that. I really enjoyed this cruise through Mississippi this morning. Kind of reminds me more of the area I grew up in, you know, in southeast Arkansas, which we'll be going through some of that area here in a few hours. So I'm going to get a real taste of down home. It's going to make me want to go crappie fishing. Okay, folks, more later. All right, everybody. We are about to cross out of Louisiana into southern Arkansas. I believe this is the Welcome to Arkansas sign coming up here. GPS says I've got just under 3 hours to go. There it is. Welcome to Arkansas, the natural state, Chico County. In the Delta. I can see the Mississippi River levee from here. You know, I went through a town back there in Louisiana about half an hour ago, and the speed limit was 55, and I was going about 59, and there was a police vehicle up ahead, parked on the other side of the road, but pointed at us, looking at us as I was approaching. And there was another semi-truck behind me. He'd been behind me for several miles. He'd like to have passed, but he just never found a good opportunity. But you know, the speed limit's 55, and I'm glad I was going 55 or 59, whatever it was. Because after we passed by the policeman, he turned around and chased after us and pulled the other semi-truck over. I doubt he was pulling him over for going too fast, but he was probably following too close. Either that or he just wanted to do a random inspection. But he really, you know, going 55 or 60 miles an hour, he was really following too close. You know, he was probably 30 yards behind me. Not far enough for safe driving. But you see that a lot out here. Nothing makes me madder really than seeing a guy just get right up on another vehicle, you know, going 60 or 70 miles an hour, and you're hauling 75,000 pounds. Well, your vehicle and the load might weigh 75, 80,000 pounds, and you're riding 10 yards behind another vehicle, just trying to intimidate them to go faster so you can get around them. not very smart. Those are probably the guys you see off in the median or off in the ditch. Well, just giving you a good old shot of the Arkansas Delta. Mississippi Delta. Flat farmland. Oh, passed by a lake back there. I think it was called Lake Providence. In fact, I think the name of the town was called Lake Providence, Louisiana. Pretty big lake. Makes me want to go fishing. Of course, I want to go fishing anyway. One of these days, maybe in a few years when I stop working, or at least not working as much, I hope to get me a place on the water somewhere where I can go fishing whenever I want to. Just go down, hop in the boat, and go fishing. Okay, well, I'll show you some more later. Well, folks, talking about fishing and lakes, here's your shot of Lake Village. We're near Lake Village, Arkansas. I think that's what they call the lake. It's a pretty good sized lake. You know, down in this part of the world, we get a lot of these, what they call oxbow lakes. Left over from when the Mississippi River used to have a different path. And one thing I've noticed the last couple of days is, you know, now that the weather is getting warmer, and you can tell by my windshield how many more insects you get smashed onto your windshield, especially down south. You have to clean your windshield a lot more, that's for sure. Especially later in the evening, it gets really bad in some areas. Okay, well, just giving you a little shot of the lake there. Everybody, just turned on the Valentine Road here, headed into the Maverick North Little Rock Yard on a Thursday afternoon. It's about 5 p.m. So it's been a really good week. Had some good runs. You know, I left out pretty early Monday morning. I think I pulled out of here probably at 5:30 a.m., something like that. And had a good run up to northern Indiana, then reloaded up there in Gary, Indiana, went down to southern Louisiana, then went up to Mississippi, and then got this load going to Kansas. So pretty good runs, and back home on a Thursday evening. So I'll probably leave out, I was just talking to my wife, you know, this load delivers in Kansas. I forget the name of the town. It's not way up in Kansas. It's kind of like south, I don't know, I guess I would call it southeastern Kansas. So I'll probably leave around lunchtime, you know, on Sunday. I can't get all the way there because the customer does not have overnight parking. Wow, look at this traffic jam to the left over here on I-40. Woo. Glad I was able to get out of that. Alright, so we're approaching the main Maverick yard. I am going to swing over to the supply barn if I can swap out one of my smaller tarps and maybe get another roll of tarp repair tape. I went through a lot of that yesterday when I was repairing that big tarp, but I'm glad I did that because I had to use it today. I had to use both of my big tarps on this load I have. So I'll be able to get me a good parking spot, that's for sure. Alright, so it looks like they've closed the truck wash already. I ain't worried about that. I'll leave it here and the guys will wash it sometime over the next couple of days, I'm sure. Alright, so I'm going to go in here and see the supply guys. Alright, well, I caught Michael in the supply barn and he gave me a roll of tarp repair tape. Appreciate that, Michael. And I asked about swapping out one of my 4-foot vinyl tarps, but decided not to because he said his inventory on those was kind of low. I said, that's okay, I can make do. I'll hit you later when you might have a better stock. So I'm going to pull in here to the shop and go fill up a couple of jugs with windshield washer fluid and ask them about something on this trailer. See if they think I need to check it into the shop. Okay guys, so what I did is I went in there for a couple of reasons. One, they let me refill my windshield washer jug. I carried a couple of spare jugs for that. And you know, I got this trailer late last week when I did that swap at Cowell Steel, and I've noticed a couple of times overnight while I'm parked that the air leaks out of the trailer to the point that the air, you know, the red air pressure button in the truck pops out. And then when I crank the truck up, you know, I have to wait 2 or 3 minutes for enough air pressure to build back up. So it does have a leak, although, you know, the truck while I was driving had the engine running and all, it stayed pressurized enough that everything was working. My pressure was always strong enough that it was good, but overnight it leaked out. So the supervisor in there had me write it up and said they'd get it fixed. So I told him where I was going to park, so I'm going to park here and they'll get that fixed. And hopefully the wash guys will wash my truck for me. When I come back here Sunday, everything will be all just lovely. All right, so let me hop out here real quick, put myself as off, and I just want to show you the load as a reminder, and then we'll do the weekly recap, show you the mileage and the pay and all. Okay, I don't remember if I showed you this or not, tarped, but here it is. You know, had to use both of my big lumber tarps, and I'm glad I did all that repair to, you know, one of them was in pretty good shape, but the other one, as I showed you yesterday, it had a lot of rips in it. I used almost a whole roll of repair tape getting that one fixed, but I'm glad I did, because this is the kind of load that they do not want getting wet. You know, it's got plastic under it, but still, I wouldn't want to show up at the customer and you got wet fiberboard. That wouldn't work too good. So that's what we got. Looks like the traffic jam on I-40 cleared up while I was in the shop there. All right, give me a second and I'll do the weekly recap with you. Okay guys, so to review last week's mileage and pay, my miles were 1,967. But they, you know, this is one of those weeks, because if you remember that load I took from Cowell Steel up to Grove, Oklahoma, that was only about a 185-mile trip. So I got what's called minimum mile paid for that, you know. So the mile, I'm going to get paid as if I drove more miles. I think the minimum trip miles we get now is 400 miles. So even though, you know, and it had 0 deadhead miles, because I delivered at Cowell Steel and picked up a load, so there were 0 deadhead miles and 180 or 90 loaded miles. So I'll get paid for, I think it's 400 miles, even though my miles on here are lower. So just wanted to explain that. So 1,967 miles. And then let me find the payroll email. The gross pay was $1,663.66. $1,663.66. So for those of you that like to see the payroll and the miles, there you go. Okay, and like I mentioned earlier, if you're out there watching, Corey, send me an email, man. I need to get some information from you, because I got notification that you use me as your referral, your Maverick referral, and I don't have any information. I have a feeling you probably have emailed or messaged me in the past under a different name. I just can't match it up with your real name, Corey. So please send me an email. And yeah, that's it. And well, that's really all I have, guys. I'm gonna get all my stuff moved out of here, get home, and I'll see you back out here Sunday. We'll be taking this load to Kansas.